Bases, we kind of think of bases as being the opposite of acids, and yet they are in some ways and not in others. Bases taste bitter. I tend to think of the opposite of sour being sweet. Bases do not taste sweet. They have a very bitter taste. They feel slippery. Acids don't have a particular feel, but bases do. This is an opposite though. Bases turn red litmus paper blue. And here they flipped it around. Here's the dry end of the paper, and here's the wet end. This was kind of a pinkish red color, and when you put it in the basic solution, it turns blue. And how do you remember something like that? Base, blue. They both start with B. So a base will turn the paper blue. Obviously, you can't turn the blue paper blue because it's already blue. So if you're trying to see if something is a base, you're going to use the red paper. If it turns blue, it's a base. These are some common products that contain bases. Those don't look as appetizing as the acids, do they? There's a couple things in here that you could eat or consume. Tonic water. That doesn't taste very good, though. Maalox antacid tablets. Those are bases that contains a base. But most of these are cleaning products, and they are not safe to ingest. Why do bases feel slippery? Well, they actually react with the oils on your skin and make soap. And we've used some sodium hydroxide in the lab this semester, and I don't know if you ever got any on your hands. But you get some water, it looks like water on your hands, and then you rub your fingers together, and it feels slippery, like you've got soap on your hand. It's making soap with the oils of your skin. And if you leave it on there too long, it begins to dissolve your skin, which isn't good. Well, this is a tidbit I didn't tell the people this morning. There are two basic kinds of drain cleaner. There's a kind that has acid in it, usually hydrochloric acid, and then there's the kind that has sodium hydroxide in it. These are the sodium hydroxide versions, the basic versions. Those are really good for dissolving hair clogs. We get hair clogs in our bathtub, and then it drains really, really slow. If you use drain cleaner that has an acid as the active ingredient, it really does nothing on that. But the base will dissolve right through the hair. So our bodies do not resist bases very well, and so they tend to be more dangerous. Bless you. So bases are much less common in food. Alkaloid is the name of a group of organic bases. They're found in plants like hemlock, which if you've read any literature at all, that's a poison. And the bitter taste warns us against eating them. So we don't like the bitter taste, and you think, how did people figure out that they could eat weird things like okra, right? Who had the idea that they could taste that? Well, I'm guessing a lot of those things were discovered out of desperation, right? If you're really, really hungry, you'll try almost anything. Things that contain alkaloids are very bitter, and that warns you, hey, this isn't good for you to eat. Coffee is acidic overall, but it has some bases in it, including caffeine, that give it a bitter flavor. So coffee is not going to dissolve your insides like drain cleaner or something, but it does have that bitter taste of a base. Here are some common bases and things that they're used for. Ammonia. Sodium bicarbonate is baking soda, and that's useful for many things. That's probably the least dangerous of all of these things. Sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide at any concentration are pretty dangerous. And ammonia smells nasty, absolutely nasty.